Welcome to the show, everybody. It's a Farzy Show presented by MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. Nice to have you along for the ride. Oh, my goodness gracious. Tyrese Maxey with 50 points. I feel like I made this point last week, but it was rattling around in my brain again, so I'm going to make it again. Tyrese Maxey dropping 50 points. Before the season, I wanted James Harden traded, and obviously that happened, and I wanted Tyrese Maxey to take this major step forward and become an all-star. I, again, feel like I shortchanged the man. You dropped 50 points in the game, and we start talking about, forget about being an all-star. How about being an MVP? And last night, Tyrese Maxey played like an MVP, and I thought the best point of the night was made by Mark Jackson in the postgame there on NBC Sports Philly when he said, he looks across the way. Tyrese Maxey looks across the way, and he sees a guy like Tyrese Halliburton. And he goes, that guy made an all-star. I should be making an all-star. I'm going to cook this guy tonight. And that's exactly what he did. Anytime he had his normal defensive matchup right there with the Halliburton, he dominated. 50 points. 50 points. We're going to get into that conversation. We're going to get into Kelly Oubre because that is just terrible. Just as the city was falling in love with this guy. Just as there's, oh, wow, yeah, he could definitely bring a lot to the table here for the 76ers from a basketball standpoint, from a human standpoint, above all else. Horrible. Walking back to his home in Center City, gets hit by a car, fractures a rib, has other bumps and bruises. He's going to miss a significant amount of time, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. He may be at Sixers shoot-around today just to visit. Not to shoot, of course, but just to visit. I saw that story, and I my heart goes out to Kelly Oubre. Think about it. Coming to a new city, and this is, you experience the fun that can be playing in Philadelphia, and you get hit by a car. And the car kept going. That's terrible. And it's not like he was nicked. The guy has a fractured rib. Spent the night in the hospital. And the driver just keeps going. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. The first thing I thought about after I learned that the driver just kept going, was in this day and age, there's cameras everywhere. Some camera around that area, Center City, I think it was Spruce and Hicks, some area in Center City is going to have a camera that catches that car. And if it's not right there at that intersection, it's going to be down one of those streets wherever that driver was going. There should be no getting away from this. No getting away from this. There's no excuse. And credit again to Tyrese Maxey for after the fact that he dropped 50 points in the game. When he was asked about, what was going for you today, because everything seemed like it was going for you today, he goes, this had nothing to do with me. This had everything to do with Kelly Oubre. I barely know him, but I love him. I love that line. But I love above all else, Tyrese Maxey just has a career night, dropping 50. By the way, 3 blocks. 3 blocks. Hey, 50 jumps out. 3 blocks. I'm like, oh, that's nice too. That's really nice too. A couple of chase down blocks. Gotta love that. But after that, he gets asked the question, what about, what was working? This had nothing to do with me. This had everything to do with Kelly Oubre. I don't even know him, but I love him. All the love to that guy. Thought that was such a class move. Absolutely love Tyrese Maxey. So we'll get into that whole conversation. We'll get into the NFC. We'll get into the NFC East after last night. And isn't it just adorable? Like, isn't it just so cute that the Dallas Cowboys yet again in a game that means nothing beat up on poor Tommy DeVito and his chicken cutlets and his mom doing his laundry, and they just beat the brakes off the New York Giants again in a game that doesn't matter. The Cowboys wet the bed. Well, I mean, they won, but they just put up all them numbers. Cooper Rush ended up playing in the fourth quarter there, if not before. But yeah, Dak Prescott was doing anything he wanted against that secondary yesterday. The defensive line for the Cowboys is basically eaten yesterday, big time. I was worried. That Tommy DeVito guy, good Lord, he got a shoulder across the face. And you know what, to his credit, he got up. He kept playing. What a day. What a day. What a weekend. What an action-packed weekend. Let's start it off with this. This is what the Sixers put out after the 50-point performance by our man Tyrese Maxey. Career-high 50 points. Joins the names of Joel Embiid, Allen Iverson, Wilt Chamberlain, Dolph Shade, all these guys that have scored 50 points for the franchise. Dana Barrows, let's not forget, joins the list of 50-point scorers for the 76ers. Pretty incredible right there, and you got to love this. Okay, Maxey scoring 50. Maxey's shouting out Kelly Oubre. Nick Nurse's comments about him, we'll let you hear from him in a second. But Joel Embiid's reaction to Tyrese Maxey getting the game ball in the locker room, which I thought was awesome. And not just that. After the game, Joel Embiid tweets this. Just saying the franchise for Tyrese Maxey. But if you didn't see it, during the game, especially in the fourth quarter is when I noticed it the most, I guess when he was approaching 50, because here's how it went for me, okay? I was watching the game. I had a remote TV hit to do with CBS 3, and I'm sitting here in the studio, and the producer, who I knew from my days at NBC, Andrew Greth, Ice, we call him. He's like, hey, by the way, I think Maxey's working on a 50 burger. And I said, what? I went into the hit. I think he was at 34 points. And the Sixers were starting to leak some gas there going into the fourth quarter. And I get done the hit, and he goes, hey, by the way, Maxey's just about to put up 50. And I was like, oh, my God. That means the Sixers, if he just rattled off like 16 points, that means the Sixers got to win this game, right? They're going to be winning. And I looked, and they were winning. Yeah, and they won, obviously, over the pace. The other important thing is that they're 8-1. Like the Eagles, they're 8-1. They're 8-1 on the season. But I was like, holy God, 50 points. And I scramble and I look at the stats and I'm like, that's incredible. And then I go back and I watch that fourth quarter, and he did everything. I feel like I talk about this a lot with Joel Embiid when he really goes off in a game, but it was the same type of thing for Tyrese Maxey. But the thing that I really loved about his game, we know about shooting threes. We know how that has improved. We know the step back three has improved tremendously for him over the last 2 years. His aggression has gone to another level, which has been fantastic. And it was kind of like, I remember saying this in the year where Joel Embiid missed, I think it was nine games with COVID. Maxey stepped on the court and became the leader of the team. Maxey was on the court and became the leader of the team. He's dropping 30-point games. And I'm like, this guy, if he can get to this level of Joel Embiid, something special is going to happen here. And I remember saying that at the time. And I remember saying he needs to, when Embiid came back and started playing with Maxey, Maxey became like this shell of himself. Like he had to make sure that he molded himself around the centerpiece, Joel Embiid, which isn't the worst thought in the world. But if you're pretty damn good, realize you're that good and realize that you can help the team as well. Now, as a young guy, 21 years old at the time, or 20 years old at the time, now 23, just turning 23, I would expect his confidence, to raise a little bit, to go to the next level. And last night just brought me back to the early days of Tyrese Maxey, where he needed to kind of come out of his shell. And I believe that this level of talent, something close to this level of talent, has been there. But then he has taken it to the next level and then the next level, by being able to improve his outside shooting, being able to improve his three-point shooting, and then just the overall mentality of being the guy, that knowing you can be the guy. On any possession, you can be the guy. It doesn't always have to be Joel Embiid, who, by the way, had another 30-plus point night for himself last night, so it wasn't like he was a slouch at all. But anyway, I digress. Watching things like this, seeing things like this, like the franchise being tweeted out by Joel Embiid, the franchise, Tyrese Maxey, and seeing Tyrese Maxey get interviewed after the game and Joel Embiid doing the "where I'm not worthy, I worship you" type of thing. And then seeing as the game was playing out, and in the fourth quarter, Tyrese Maxey starts getting closer and closer to 50 points. It was like every time Tyrese Maxey hit another bucket. There was one in particular where Tyrese Maxey had a driving layup. He was at the perimeter, about the foul line extended area. On the other side of the court, foul line extended, opposite side of him, was Joel Embiid wide open from beyond the arc. Tyrese Maxey drives it in. Joel Embiid is calling for the ball. Maxey decides to take it. He cuts through the lane, puts up the high kiss off the glass for the layup. Good. Instead of any type of, not that I would expect it, but this stuff happens. There was no like Joel Embiid like I was open. There was nothing like that. It was Joel Embiid putting a fist in the air and pumping it for his man Tyrese Maxey. He was so excited to see him get closer and closer, and then to 50 points, and then the icing on the cake was Tyrese Maxey's top of the key three-pointer, getting a little ahead of myself, to ice the 50-point game. And the place went nuts. The Wells Fargo Center went nuts when he did it. I don't think I'm crazy. This is so much fun to watch. This is an absolute joy to watch. This brand of basketball from the 76ers. Listen to Joel Embiid. This is courtesy of Kyle Neubeck. The question is our friend Paul Hudrick of Liberty Ballers. But listen to just the joy that is in the voice of Joel Embiid talking about Tyrese Maxey.
How does this, like, his personality, his attitude, how does that kind of
rub off on you? Like I said, the culture, so I said he's going to be here for a long time, and I hope he does retire here. I mean, fans should love him, they should appreciate him, and should appreciate everything that he does for them, because he's something else. And, starts with, people like that. When you got people in the building, always smiling. He's very, I don't think I've ever seen him mad. Usually me in the mornings, I don't mess around. I just, him, you can come in at 7 in the morning, smiling. I'm like, dude, you just woke up, like, I want to so happy. But that's always the same energy. Doesn't change. Good games, bad games, always the same.
Think about this for a second. You're Joel Embiid. And don't get me wrong. Joel Embiid has come up small in the biggest of moments, and it's happened numerous times that he's been here. That doesn't mean I don't love the guy. I want him to stay here in Philadelphia. I want him to win here in Philadelphia. A parade led by Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, that would be an awesome party. And it's not necessarily Jason Kelce in a Mummers outfit, but it would still be pretty awesome. And I want to hear that speech. Joel Embiid would talk so much crap on the rest of everyone else in the league. I think it would be fantastic. But anyway, just think about this for a second. I have no doubt in my mind that Joel Embiid loves basketball. I had a lot of doubt in my mind, even at the time the Sixers drafted him number 1 overall. I had a lot of doubt in my mind whether or not Ben Simmons loved basketball. People say it all the time. I say it all the time about athletes. Sometimes people just really love what the sport brings them. Oh, hold on a second. I'm this good at this sport. I'm built like this. If I just do that, I'll be rich and famous. Like, sometimes, not that these guys aren't working hard, but sometimes they just love what the sport brings them and not the sport itself. And that's a shame. He had to go through the Ben Simmons fiasco. Obviously, right now went through the James Harden fiasco. Knowing that the James Harden fiasco on a personal level was okay, but on a professional level, no bueno. He also goes through Markelle Fultz with whatever was going on with Markelle Fultz, thoracic outlet syndrome, as it was termed. I always go back to Elton Brand smiling as he delivered that news. Like, do you believe this crap? Like, he didn't believe it. I don't think he believed it. I didn't believe it at the time. And then since then, Markelle Fultz has been an upstanding citizen and defender of Philadelphia. But nonetheless, Joel Embiid had to go through another first number 1 overall pick. Not really panning out here in Philadelphia. And then James Harden not panning out here in Philadelphia. And then Jimmy Butler loving basketball, but then him being moved on. And now you got this kid, Tyrese Maxey, who is the real deal. There's no drama. There's no BS. The guy just loves basketball. And the guy just wants to win. And he only wants to get better. And he wants to do it all alongside Joel Embiid, at least at this time. And I love it. I'm here for it. Tyrese Maxey feels like the apology for all the horrible moves the Sixers have made over the years. Whether it was just deciding to go through the process, which I was on board for. I was, give me 3 years of being terrible, build assets, and let's see where this goes. Instead of being, the 3 years of just mediocrity, let's go with this. And we went with that, and maybe we're paying for some bad karma that we created. I don't know. But we get into that. And we get into moving on from Butler. We get on to bringing in James Harden. We go to the Ben Simmons fiasco. It's not just decisions that they made and trades that they made. It's just that bad things that happened to the Sixers. Tyrese Maxey is one hell of a make good. He's at least a good first step in a make good. when it comes to everything else. You might call it a makeup call in basketball. Well, Tyrese Maxey is the makeup person. He is the makeup player, and I absolutely love what I'm seeing from him this season. It has been unreal. And I mean, he's an all-star. He is an all-star. A 50-point performance now puts him on another opportunity here to be the Eastern Conference Offensive Player of the Week for a second time in 3 weeks in the early goings of this season. Yeah, I'll take it. That's a nice little nod to another all-star campaign, or his first all-star campaign. You hear the joy in Joel Embiid's voice talking about Tyrese Maxey. How about this? Nick Nurse was asked about his guard after the game.
Is a lot more.
Oh, let me set this up properly. Here you go. The first question here is him being asked about Tyrese Maxey having a similar game against Nick Nurse and the Raptors last year. And Nick Nurse was asked, how's it feel to be on this side of it?
It's a lot more fun. A lot more fun being on this side of it. And the same goes with Joel. Like, when you play against him or pair against him, you do have a level of, like, how tough it is. But and now that I hear and see him every day and see him do it a lot, it's like that level even goes up for me. Goes up for me watching him play.
What most impressed you about Tyrese's performance tonight?
I thought I think he just mixed in so much of what he does so well. I thought he blasted to the basket with speed a bunch of times, but then he, did his step back or separation for threes. Just a heavy dose of both. So I think it was really. It's really, obviously really hard to guard tonight, but it's really hard when he's that fast one way and he's so deadly a shooter the other direction. So it's kind of like, which one are we going to try to take away? And it kind of makes it hard.
In Toronto a couple weeks ago, you said you wanted him to be 25% more aggressive than he was that night. How close to that 25% did he get tonight?
Still needs another. No, I'm just kidding. He was aggressive. He was aggressive tonight.
If it could just be like 25% more aggressive. I want him to get to 125% more aggressive. And that's how by the way, I really like Nick Nurse as well. But the variety of scoring, and I already touched on it, but just from the threes to the putbacks to the defense to the kisses off the high glass, for the driving layups, it's all fantastic. 20 field goals, by the way, hit last night by Tyrese Maxey. All that's great. Aside from just Maxey, though, and more on Nick Nurse than anybody else, and a little bit of this to Tobias Harris. The thing that really jumps out to me this year, other than Tyrese Maxey looking like an all-star, look like a guy that wants to flirt with an MVP consideration at the end of the year, other than that, what jumps out to me about the Sixers team is the ball movement. It's not like one guy makes a play to another guy. That's ball movement. No. It's one guy makes a play to a guy on the wing. The guy on the wing makes a play to the guy back at the top of the key, down to the post for an easy layup. Or top of the key, wing, post, layup. Or top of the key, elbow, turnaround, jump shot, good. Like, the ball moves so well in this Nick Nurse offense. It's something that really jumps out to me. I think it's two things. One, Nick Nurse is obviously not Doc Rivers, so they're doing something different there. The other is that nobody here is James Harden. Nobody here is James Harden. There's a freedom to this. The Sixers look like a team that has a weight lifted off their shoulders. And that is a hovering bad presence. We talk about this a lot in other sports, especially in the sport of baseball, where we can talk about a manager kind of being that dark cloud. And once that manager is moved aside, sometimes another guy will come in there and keep a lighter atmosphere. And then all of a sudden, the whole atmosphere and attitude of the team is different. And guys aren't gripping the bat too tight. And guys are feeling like they're about to lose their jobs if they don't perform at this very moment. The Sixers right now look like this weight has been lifted off and this gray cloud has gone away. And it's nothing but blue skies over their head right now. And yes, I think a lot of that is the attitude of Tyrese Maxey and the maturation process of the game of Tyrese Maxey, of his game. And you see that, and you can see it on the court. It's like they're playing the most fun brand of basketball where everybody's going to touch the ball. Everybody's going to. DeAnthony Melton has gone through a bad slump over the last, probably over the whole start of the season. Has a couple of threes for you last night. Like just something as small as that. they are bringing this guy along. They're bringing him along. Tyrese Maxey continues to improve. Joel Embiid continues to play great. 37 he finished with last night. It's just Tobias Harris is a focal point for me as far as this offense has gone, because he just looks like that player that the Sixers traded for all those years ago. It's a tremendous thing. And I could really get used to watching this brand of basketball. I had said many times that the 82 games preseason, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to this particular team right now, as I'm watching, I did not expect that trade to have this much of a positive impact on what I'm watching. And it's not just the picks. It's not just Maxey playing great. It's not just Joel Embiid great and all that stuff. It's the improved brand of basketball that we now get to watch. It's not just this two-man game and a two-man offense. It's anybody could get you. And I can't wait I'd love for Kelly Oubre to come back, and we'd all would love him to come back as soon as possible, because flat out the guy can play. Last night, Nick Nurse made the decision to have Nicholas Batum in there as a starter with the team in place of Kelly Oubre. And I'm fine with that because Batum can hit three. Kate Scott tried out a little boom, boom, Nico Batum. I don't know. She's trying it on. She talked about how she would try it on the Bang Bang George Niang. You know what I'm saying? And, that caught on. But I just can't get over how much fun I'm watching the 76ers team play. Just can't get over how much fun it is to watch this team play ball. The 82 games of the regular season, it'll be there for entertainment. I didn't expect it to be this entertaining once Harden was out. And, man, is it entertaining. Here's the realm that we're in right now with the Sixers. The realm we're in is that it's no longer getting a star to play next to. It's not James Harden. It's not anybody else. It's the Sixers have that star to play next to Joel Embiid. His name is Tyrese Maxey. So if any other trades are going to go down, these are going to be for guys that I think are going to be supporting Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, not bumping Tyrese Maxey back down to the number 3 guy. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be bringing in another piece that will complement Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. You do that, something special. Something real special is going to happen in Philadelphia. And I'm here for it. We're all here for it because, man, that was so much fun last night. So much fun. Let's get over to the NFL. Here's the games that I told you guys I'd be paying most attention to. Obviously, the San Francisco 49ers was a big one there against Jacksonville, red-hot Jacksonville team. The 49ers came away with that victory. They got off the schneid there with a 3-game losing streak and just manhandled the Jaguars in Jacksonville 34-3. The Detroit Lions took on the LA Chargers, and the Lions came away with a last-second victory. Those Chargers are just so damn good. 41-38, they came away with the win there. The New York Giants, good golly, Miss Molly. The New York Giants got dismantled by the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, 404 yards in that game. Brandon Cooks broke out onto the scene with 173 yards receiving. The New York Giants got dismantled 49-17. I didn't check. I didn't check Tommy DeVito's final numbers. Let me bring up Tommy DeVito's final numbers here. By the way, yes, I did see the quote about living at home in North Jersey with his mom who does his laundry and makes great chicken cutlets. Tommy DeVito's going to need that pastita today after getting beat by the Dallas Cowboys. 5 sacks on him last night. But Dak Prescott finished 26-35 for 404 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. Here's what's awesome about that. Absolutely awesome. By the way, CeeDee Lamb, another incredible performance, 11 catches, 151 yards. He's on a tear. But here's what's just so awesome about this game for the Cowboys, okay? The Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen, still suck. I don't care if they got another 40-point game. I don't give a damn if they got another 40-point game. They suck. The fact that they beat up on the Cowboys or they beat up on the Giants like that is just so, it's like just so Cowboys, because in the games that matter, they don't win. In the games that are just like put out there in a silver platter, they just don't dominate. They'll make everybody else buy in again. But here's the problem. they're going to choke. They're going to choke against good teams. 49ers, Eagles, another example there. It's going to happen. The Arizona Cardinals aren't even a good team. They did win yesterday with that fella coming back, Kyler Murray. So that happened. Yeah, they're not good. They're not a good team. They're not a good team. And I just love the fact that they'll just blow out the bad teams and they get everyone all excited again. It's just it's so much fun to just watch them get excited and then be miserable failures. It's just beautiful. And then finally, the last game. What else did I have on here? Washington at Seattle. Seattle, still don't really give a damn about Seattle. I know a lot of people look at that as a big deal. I don't look at that as a big deal. But Seattle did win that game 29-26, so those are the games I was looking at. The night game, in case you're waking up to this, Vegas was able to beat the Jets. Go figure. The Monday night game tonight is Denver at Buffalo. So there you go. The Eagles will be coming off the bye week, obviously, still as the best team in football. I've told you guys what I really liked about the first half. I told you guys what I want to see in the second half. Things have worked out. I mean, the Giants didn't upset the Cowboys. It's really the only thing that could have gone great in the Eagles' favor. Of course, the San Francisco 49ers could have lost to Jacksonville, and that obviously did not happen. So the Eagles are going to come back to a tightly wrapped NFC, with them still very much at the top of that tightly wrapped NFC. So you're looking at the 49ers, you're looking at the Cowboys, you're looking at the Detroit Lions. All the teams that I wanted to lose won, unfortunately, yesterday. But I looked at this schedule, and here's what the Eagles have coming up after the first game of the gauntlet, if you want to call it that, against beating the Dallas Cowboys. Kansas City, then host Buffalo, host San Francisco, visit Dallas, visit Seattle. 5 games. I got asked the question last night on CBS, what would be a successful run here? 4-1 would be a successful run. 5-0 would be a very successful run. I think it's going to be very difficult for any team to play at an extremely high level against these teams that can play at an extremely high level. Dallas has, to their credit, they have been killer at home. Now it's just a matter of whether or not the Eagles can end that run for the Dallas Cowboys. But before that, you got the Kansas City Chiefs coming up here on Monday night, a week from tonight. Then you got Buffalo, San Francisco, Dallas, and Seattle. My charge to the Eagles, my ask of the Eagles, as happy as I am with this season, as awesome as it is to look at the standings and see that your team is 8-1, as much as the red zone has improved over the last 3 weeks, like I would have thrown that in, by the way. I would have thrown that into the things I want to see more of in the second half. They started to right that ship, so I can't really bitch and complain about it. But when I look at this Eagles team right now, here's what I ask. 4-1. Anything less than that is not a success. Yes, I know it would be a winning record at 3-2, but 4-1. 4-1 is something an elite team would do. And I believe the Eagles are an elite team, and there are people out there that doubt this Eagles team. Let's rewind to last year. Eagles aren't for real. Eagles aren't for real. Is Jalen Hurts for real? Okay, runner-up to the MVP and NFC champion. So I think they're pretty for real. Oh, they will do that again next year. They're literally 8-1 again. They literally are doing that this year. The only thing that doesn't really look great is like last year, no question about it. Jalen Hurts was playing at an A level. This year, he's more of a B level with some A mixed in. But I got to ask the question, what's the successful record? 4-1. If you were a fan of the show Breaking Bad, I've referenced this line a lot, but I think it really sums it up well. The Eagles in the next 5 games need to be the one who knocks, Skyler. The Eagles in these next 5 games need to be the danger, Skyler. That's what they need to be, and they can prove it over these next 5 games. You might say that the Eagles don't have much to prove anymore. You know what? Show you can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs aren't the Kansas City Chiefs of last year. Patrick Mahomes is actually running the football more than he ever has in his entire career. So when you talk about that big play, it's still there, no question. But for whatever reason, Patrick Mahomes sees it more necessary to tuck the ball and run. You keep tucking the ball and running, you're going to win. Instead of those big splash plays that they can have, Yeah, I'd rather the Eagles go out there and handle that. And they'll have an opportunity to do it because this Kansas City team is not nearly the team that the Eagles faced in the Super Bowl last year. Patrick Mahomes still there? Yes. Travis Kelce still there? Yes, absolutely. Isaiah Pacheco still there? Yes, absolutely. The defense still getting sacks left and right. They're right there with the Eagles, of course, right there, the top 4 in the league right now. It's wild. But I think the Eagles win this game. Buffalo and San Francisco being at home, those are 2 games that should be wins. Buffalo is still another team that gets all the hype in the world, all the love in the world, and they look like a team that's just not ready for prime time. San Francisco, Brock Purdy came back to life a little bit yesterday in that win, obviously. But for me, it's still a team you should beat. So the one game that I look at on this schedule that does give me a little bit of an eyebrow raise here as the game that they could lose, unfortunately, is that Buffalo game. Not Seattle. I mean, Seattle, I just feel like the Eagles never really play well in Seattle anyway, so hopefully they put that behind them. But that Buffalo game, there's one reason for it. The turnovers have been an issue, and Buffalo is great at taking the ball away. They weren't able to do it against Joe Burrow last week in prime time. We'll see what they do tonight in a Monday night matchup here, but that game being at home should just be a nice, warm feeling to have that game at home and feel like this team can do anything. But Buffalo's defense and their ability to take the ball away is what scares me. I think and it's a game you can kind of overlook. I know the Eagles would be in the Kelly Green again that night, but for me, or that late afternoon game, 4:25, more so than even the 49ers game, because I think the Eagles know what to get up for. The Buffalo Bills game is a weird one. And I think they're a very well-coached team. I think Sean McDermott does a hell of a job up there. Offensively speaking, hopefully you can get after Josh Allen, as great as a run threat as he has been, whatever. And tonight, I think tonight is the night that he could throw an interception in 7 straight games. That's not a good stretch. So they'll give the ball back as well. They'll take it away and they'll give it back. But for whatever reason, that Buffalo Bills game is just sticking out to me as I think you beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I think you come back. I think you lose the Buffalo Bills. I think you beat the 49ers, Dallas, and Seattle. And then after that, kick your feet up on Christmas Day. Tommy DeVito, a stomach full of 7 fish. 4:30 kickoff on Christmas. Yep, not looking good. And then Arizona, little Jonathan Gannon returned to the link, and then New York again on Sunday, January 7th. That's the way it looks. That's how it's looking the rest of the way. Yeah. Let me tell you guys about MyBookie. MyBookie.ag and all MyBookie has to offer. Check out MyBookie.ag and take advantage. You see it right there in the crawl. MyBookie.ag. Up to $100 redeemable for a deposit bonus at MyBookie.ag. All they have to offer on NBA. NFL. It's all right there. And don't forget about the incredible blackjack tournaments. You like blackjack? Make sure you're using mybookie.ag and using promo code Farzy for up to $100 redeemable deposit bonus. Take advantage of everything. MyBookie has got it going on. Whether it's football, whether it's the NBA, whether it's the blackjack tournaments, they got it all right there. And think about that $100. If you walk by a $100 bill on the floor, you know you can pick that up. $100. Absolutely. Do it right now with MyBookie. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere at mybookie.ag. And make sure you use promo code Farzy at mybookie.ag. Let's get into the chat check and see how you guys are doing over this fabulous weekend. See what's going on with you guys. I'm going to start it over on the Farzy Show YouTube page. IBH, what's going on? Morning, April. Morning, April. T-Bro, 50 bomb. 50 points. Chuck Hutton, what's up? Good morning, Mark. How are you? I'm fantastic. Watching the show from the Irish rail train from Killarney to Dublin? Really, Chuck? Wow. That's I've been to Dublin once. Been to Ireland once. Yep. Did not leave Dublin. But that's awesome, Chuck. Thanks, man. Thanks. Hello, everyone in Ireland. I won't say the thing that I know Irish people don't say when it's the morning. It's the opposite of the bottom. All right. Anyway, IBH, what's going on? Wait, prayers for Kelly. Absolutely prayers for Kelly. Browner Johnson. I like that name. Farzy, time is money, my man. I know. I'm sorry, man. My camera wouldn't connect for whatever reason. No better fit of a name in sports than Tommy DeVito. So apparently he's not related to Danny DeVito. I think was it the NJ Times? I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, they put it out there. Like fun facts about Tommy DeVito. It's like, no, he is not related to Tommy DeVito. Or Tommy DeVito. No, he's not related to Danny DeVito. No better fit for a name in sports. Yeah. I remember when we first started the show, Eagles linebacker Alex Singleton came on, and he was like, people are really railing on Nick Sirianni after his introductory press conference. I was like, yeah. And he goes, I thought people in Philly would love Nick Sirianni. You can't have a more Philly name than Nick Sirianni. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's right. Oh, it's South Philly. He said South Philly. You can't have a more South Philly name than Nick Sirianni. Well, Tommy DeVito is pretty good. I was talking, strange enough, I was catching up with a buddy of mine in Alaska, or Seattle. He's from Alaska, but he lives in Seattle. And he was just like, he said, my name is a very South Philly name. And I was like, dude, what about Nick Sirianni? He's like, oh, wow, that's even better. So it's funny that you say that about Tommy DeVito being a North Jersey name. Absolutely. Better fit of a name in sports. Absolutely. Harden trade looking like the Russell Wilson trade. 0-4 now are the Clippers since acquiring the services of James Harden. Holy Stromboli. I don't know the reporter's name, but I did see the highlight of the reporter saying, you're not the system, you're the problem. Oh, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Beautifully, eloquently stated. I might add. Eloquently stated. Both dudes very limited. Mr. Very Limited. Never Russell Wilson, Chad. Morning, all. What's up, Sean Gillespie? This team with Sean Kilrain. This team with Nick Nurse is exciting and fun to watch, and they're playing solid defense. I'll go back to it. Tyrese Maxey had 3 blocks yesterday. 50 points. Headlines. Wow, 3 blocks? Damn, son. I love it. Kid hustles, man. Kid hustles. Sean Kilrain. It is still kind of blowing my mind that Tyrese Maxey is currently averaging 28.6 points per game, 7.2 rebounds, 5.4 rebound, 7.2 assists, 5.4 rebounds. All his numbers are insane. Dynasty 215, only getting 1 Joe Madden vibes with Nurse. Ooh, am I the only one getting Joe Madden vibes with Nurse? Interesting. Kind of like a savant that just knows how to preach the right way to the right players. I'm not there, but I see where you'd get it. I'd see where you'd get it. That's not terrible. I like that. IBH, clearly addition by subtraction. The lack of a third max salary player has allowed Maxey and Harris to both flourish. I'm with you there. Sean Cohen, I love the fact that the beard is poop emoji. Oh, sorry. Poop emojiing the bed over in LA. Gotta love it, Farzy. Oh, I love it. At the half, the Cowboys had as many points as the Giants had yards. Gross. Harden's master plan worked perfectly, working with I think it's supposed to be Westbrook. Yes. Westbrook, playoff P, and Mr. Load Management. Dallas is obviously a Super Bowl contender based on this game. Thank you very much. Yes, Sean Gillespie. Mullet Alvarado! What's going on? Nice to see you. Have a wonderful week to you as well. Oh, it was your birthday? Oh, yeah, he is a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. We're actually going to have a Marine on this show. A buddy of mine, Mike Dougherty, Mike Donahue, is going to, I know real well. Mike Donahue is going to come on the show, and we're going to talk about an event for the Marines coming up in the not too distant future. So we're going to talk about that. Watch the Eagles make DeVito look like an elite quarterback with our secondary. Bradley Roby's got to get back. Bradley Roby's got to get back as, as fast as humanly possible. And that's where we'll be able to go. Maxey stepping up for Oubre. Absolutely, says Mihai. What's up, Mihai Sanchez? Browner, I'll do my best to never make you do that again. Rob Thompson vibes, says Mihai Sanchez. Not a good thing right now. Not a good thing to be in the Rob Thompson comparison list right now. And I like Rob Thompson, but that was terrible at LCS. I think we all agree with that. NJ Fishermaniac, good morning. I'm over on the Jacob Media YouTube page. It's called Dirty D. What's up, Dirty D? Dirty. What's up? Anyone would trade for Harden. Oh, Hollywood Hogan. Great name. Why would anyone trade for Harden? Is anybody... wait. Why anyone would trade for Harden is beyond me. Him and Westbrook don't even like each other. I maintain this opinion. When they got the footage of James Harden walking into the Clippers locker room for the first time, Russell Westbrook was just being nice. He was just being nice. He got up, did the, what's up, man? It's like when that guy like the guy shows up to a party that isn't really your friend, but he's a friend of the friend throwing the party, and you just want to be cordial. Hey, what's up? Hey, cool. Nice to see you. Good to see. It's good to see you too. That's what it was like for me. That's the way I at least experienced it. I don't know how you guys experienced it. That's how I experienced it. Thanks, everybody in the chat check. You guys are fantastic as per usual. Let's get to the morning rush. Brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Hey, let's talk about the Philadelphia Flyers, ladies and gentlemen. First, the good news. Won back-to-back games. How about this? They beat the Ducks 6-3. They handled the business out there. A 3-goal third period to help ice that win. Never a bad thing. Samuel Ersson out there in the net. Ersson in the net making saves. That's right. I like to see that. Travis Sanheim had a goal for them over the weekend as well. And then they went on and they took care of business against the Kings in this West Coast trip with a 4-2 victory. Not too shabby. Morgan Frost, Mofro, coming up with 2 goals for the Flyers in that one. So love to see it. I know we don't talk a lot of hockey, but 2 things happened over the weekend. One worse than the other, but just still made me go, oh, damn. One was obviously Kelly Oubre, and glad that it looks like he's going to be okay, right? Going to take some time to recover before he's back in the Sixers lineup, so it's going to be a minute. The Sixers haven't done a timeline yet. He's going to undergo another evaluation in the next couple of days to see where he's at. I think it was a week after release from the hospital. They're going to evaluate him again and see where he's at. Maybe then we could get a more accurate timeline. Roman Cechmanek died. 52 years old, former Flyers goaltender. Great goaltender, by the way, who... unfortunately, I think one of the things he is remembered for, well, one is the cranium carum, saving pucks literally with his mask and his helmet. Jim Jackson would go, cranium carum, Cechmanek. But yelling at his teammates. The guy had a 182 goals against average at one point. Like, absolutely on fire. Absolutely on fire. And one of the things he's known for is in that horrible Ottawa Senators playoff series where the Flyers scored 2 goals in 5 games. And he only allowed a goal or 2 a game. That was one of the most incredible runs I've ever seen from a playoff netminder. And it was wasted. It was absolutely wasted. I remember Ruslan Fedotenko scored a goal in overtime. Rusty scored a goal in overtime to win game 1. And I remember Jeremy Roenick being interviewed after the game, and I forget what it was. It was like 1 down, 13 to go, or something like that. Or 1 down, 12 to go. And he's just like, 1 to 12 to go. And then the Flyers scored 1 goal and won 0 games after that. And Roman Cechmanek was the goaltender on that. And I just can't believe it. Let me see if I can pull up that number. Man, it's so insane. Listen, I think it was the lockout that pushed him aside. But I remember, he did play for the Kings. Oh, what the heck, man? Oh, it's not giving me that option? That's Bush League. Yeah, I think it was 2001, 2002. In the playoffs, he allowed 7 goals in 4 games, and the Flyers lost that series. How terrible is that? Yeah, he did go back and play in the Czech Republic. The cause of death, the last I saw, it was not known, unfortunately. But, man, that was a way-back machine type of thing when I saw that he had passed. But if you remember him playing, he was one hell of a goaltender. Yeah, he had a 183 goals against average. The year the Flyers lost that series, he had a 205 goals against average. He was a 3-time All-Star. Damn, son. I'm sorry, 1-time All-Star. Yeah, just a real short-lived career. I think it was the strike, or the lockout, rather, that ended his career kind of abruptly. But, man, he was one hell of a goaltender, that's for sure. Older, too, when he was here. I think he played for the Flyers, 29, 30, and 31. So that definitely took me back. All right. So, hey, thoughts and prayers to the Czechmonic family. And I do remember him as one hell of a goaltender. For whatever reason, there were problems here in Philadelphia, most notably because the offense couldn't score in that series. But one hell of a netminder here in Philadelphia, no doubt about that. Moving on. NFL tonight, like I said, Denver is in Buffalo for that game. We'll see if Denver can continue their resurgence. They've won 2 in a row. You realize the Denver Broncos have never won 3 games in a row dating back to last year with Russell Wilson as their quarterback. They have only won back-to-back games twice, and they are in the midst of that right now. They have won back-to-back games right now, and then they won back-to-back games in their second and third game with Russell Wilson as their quarterback. So all that's going down tonight. We'll see how all that shapes up for the Denver Broncos tonight in Buffalo. I don't really much believe in if the Bills lose now, or if the Bills win now, they're more likely to lose later. But if you buy into that, now's a good time to buy into it for the Eagles' sake coming up in a couple weeks. As for the line on that game tonight, Buffalo is favored by 7 points at home, and it's a 47.5 over-under. That's what you're looking at. Flyers, by the way, I meant to tell you when they're back at it. After winning 2 in a row for the first time in a long time, Flyers are back at it Wednesday at 7:30. They play against the Carolina Hurricanes in Carolina. As for the Philadelphia 76ers, when they're going to be back at it, looking to continue to roll, the Sixers are back at it tomorrow night against the Pacers again in this series. Wow, this is just absolutely incredible. 8 straight wins for the 76ers, and they're hosting the Indiana Pacers. This one is part of the in-season group play. So brace yourself. I don't like the courts. I know people are raving about the courts in the in-season tournament. I don't rave about the courts. I have a positive and negative I was saving for you here in our Morning Rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. The negative. Here's the negative of a sports-adjacent thing. I see a lot of people loving the courts of the NBA tournament, in-season tournament. I think they're dumb. I think everything about the NCAA. I think everything about the NBA in-season tournament is stupid. I think it's an admission that you can't motivate your players to play for what they're being paid to do. And I try really hard not to get caught up in money. I'm the guy that says it doesn't matter how much a player's making. You'll be shocked about how much you get used to. If anybody came into your work and they were they're younger than you, and they were the first person, they're coming in and the first day on the job, and all of a sudden they're making like 20 grand more than you at the same job. You're like, excuse me? You're not going to like that no matter what market you're working in, whether or not you're a billionaire, whether or not you're going to make a $500 million in your career. Somebody else making $550, you're like, I don't like that. So that's the way NBA guys are wired. But I don't try to get caught up in money. But these guys get paid a nice amount of money to play basketball. Go play basketball. What happens if in trying to win the NBA in-season tournament, God forbid somebody gets hurt, and then the actual tournament, the actual trophy, the actual championship, they're not available for them? We're not going to have a parade in Philadelphia if the Sixers win the in-season tournament. I put this out half kidding, but I thought it would be hilarious. Sixers should have a parade around Camden. That's what they should do. So I don't like it. I'm negative on that. I don't like it. I have a positive for you, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? I said I'm not going to get into it, and I haven't really gotten into it. I didn't talk much about James Harden until he was traded. I've barely talked about that Taylor Swift lady and that Travis Kelce guy. But here comes, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go. Ready for this unpopular opinion? I'm happy for them. Yesterday, seeing them embrace after her concert, seeing them embrace after she changed that lyric, and I thought that was adorable. What is it? Karma is a guy on the Chiefs, right? Adorable. And then she runs into his arms. I'm going to tell you where I'm at with this. Okay? I'm going to tell you where I'm at with this. I'm happy for him. I don't know these people. I'm 1 degree of separation from Travis Kelce. I'm 1 degree, then 2 degrees separation than Taylor Swift. No, I'm 1 degree because I know other people that know her. But anyway, any question? Young love, puppy love. I love seeing that. I don't care if you're Taylor Swift. I don't care if you're Travis Kelce. I don't care if you're famous and all that. You're in love like that. You have young love, puppy love, the early stages of love. I'm happy for it. Bless them. How about that? That's how I feel about it now. That's how I feel about it. Stand strong on that. I love seeing people in that brand of love because it's just adorable, in a positive way. Not adorable like the Dallas Cowboys beating up on the Giants. Adorable. This is actually adorable. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I wish them nothing but health and happiness. It's better to be at that stage than you changed what shelf you put the peanut butter on? How do you change the shelf into the peanut butter? I'm looking for the peanut butter. Then you change the shelf? Or the opening the fridge? Where's my General Tso's? Where's my General Tso's is on the middle shelf. Did you eat my General Tso? Better than that stage. Although there are beautiful perks that come along with that second stage as well. So, unpopular opinion. I'm happy for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Deal with it. Piping hot takes. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are great as per usual. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Getting you ready for another fine day of 76ers basketball. Also seeing the way this game plays out tonight for the Buffalo Bills, team that the Eagles are going to be facing on this gauntlet. Don't forget about PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. Coming up at 8 o'clock on the Jacob Media YouTube channel. Don't miss out on our friends at Birds 365, Jody McDonald and John McMullen. That's what's coming up. My name is Mark Farzetta. Jim Hyder produced the program. Did a wonderful job. Be back with you guys tomorrow. See you then. Bye.